Back in the 90s, the Walt Disney Company was a roaring success when it came to video games. It was a new art form, and they were ready to be on hand. We're talking about games like Aladdin for the Sega Genesis, well, and even also for the Super Nintendo. We're talking about Lion King. But then somewhere along the way, Disney Interactive became Disney Passive, and very passive regarding video gaming. Now, Netflix is here with a cloud streaming gaming service. And Netflix is getting ready to eat Disney's lunch with an offer that Disney Plus simply can't replicate. What if we told you that Netflix is getting one of the biggest games of all time ready to go to all of its customers? Let's dive into it right now. Hello folks, welcome back to the place where we are waking up Holly Weird, one video at a time, and you are the electricity that makes it so. Today we're talking about Disney having made the poor decision of exiting the gaming industry years and years ago, and now that has caught up to them in the form of Netflix, which has decided that it too wants to get into the cloud streaming service, and so far that's looking very good for Netflix. Remember that Netflix started off, of course, as a physical media distribution system, which was akin to Blockbuster, but which allowed it to distribute items all across the country without a centralized location. Now the same is happening with gaming, except there's no physical media here. This is, of course, going straight into whatever box or device you have. Let's talk about it right now.
Fell apart. I think Netflix is capable of running a premium game service that could compete with the likes of Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, all of them, but they have to be in it because if they don't go all in, here's a question for everyone here. Did anyone ever own a Google Stadia? Does everyone even know what that is?
I actually have one. You want me to go grab it?
I am impressed. You're the first
I had a
person I ever met.
subscription.
I actually have a Luna. You want me to grab that?
Oh yes.
Wow.
I have the Steam Deck, but I have the first iteration of that, which was the Steam box or whatever it was that you can play stuff from your Steam account on. And I have the controller. It's it's over here. Hang on. I got one of them.
Can I just say it's a really darn shame that nothing is happening with LucasArts games?
Well, yeah, nothing is happening with LucasArts. That's the only thing that's going well for a Disney IP with video games right now,
yeah,
of course,
awesome.
is Jedi Survivor. And I think that did well. The only time that Disney Interactive made a profit was for Disney Infinity, and as soon as it wasn't profitable for a single quarter, they shut down the entire division.
Golly, if they'd have done that with Disney Plus, they'd be way ahead today.
It never even got off the ground. Well,
I'm just wondering if Culture also has an Ouya and an Amico. I wonder.
I have an Amico, and I actually have the original.
Amico?
Yeah, the Amico. I have an Intellivision 1 and an Intellivision Classic and an Intellivision 2.
You have an Apple Pippin.
I know, but I have the Atari, the first version, 2600, and
do you have a Jaguar?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, actually, I'd have to go to storage. There's a Jaguar there. I've got. Yeah, I was.
Got a Lynx?
No, I don't think I got.
Do you have an IQ player?
No.
Do you have a Game Gear?
IQ Player is the Chinese Nintendo that they made where it was actually directly built into the controller so they could get around the console restrictions.
Unfortunately, I believe I sold or my parents sold my VIC-20. I think my Commodore 64 still exists with both the tape drive and the disk drive because back then we were using 5 1/4 floppies. I actually learned how to program on that in BASIC. I literally was one of those guys. I got tech and I tried to learn how to use it beyond what it was supposed to do. So I was a freak show, but I loved game consoles, everything in the Nintendo thing. I mean,
What's your favorite console of all time, Culture?
This is gonna sound dumb because I have a PS5 in there and I've got I've got the freaking Xboxes galore, but I still love my stupid Switch more than I love anything else, which is
great.
Go on there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say Game Boy.
And that's darn close to a second. And then in the other room, if I get on a plane, I'm taking my new Steam Deck with me because I can play all my PC games on it. But outside of that, I mean, seriously, I love that.
I love the Sega Dreamcast is my favorite.
Oh, that's such a great system.
What a crazy little console. The
Minecraft.
VMU memory sticks with the screen on them in the controller.
Let me ask a slightly different question as somebody who goes back to Monopoly boards and Chinese checkers.
Mm-hmm.
If you were buying one of the current consoles today, which one would you get?
Oh, wow! It depends on what catalog you own. Because if you
don't own anything, if you're just starting from scratch,
Switch. It's easy. It's plug and play. You can take it anywhere, and the library is huge. And if you have friends, you can literally take the screen of it. Actually, I have it right here.
And if
you
you've
can literally
got
just take the screen. There's a little thing on the back, a stand, and you can take off these controllers, and you each have your own little mini controller. And you and a friend could play it like a party or something. Yeah, it's nifty. This thing is genius.
It's a perfect babysitter for kids. I know for a fact.
It's a perfect babysitter for me.
Well, you're a kid at heart.
Let me put it this way: the PlayStation Sony, when you compare it to the Switch in Japan, the Switch has something like 98% market share over the PlayStation 5 in Japan. So I mean, that just sort of goes to show you just how fantastic that little system is, even though it's not as powerful as the PlayStation.
I'm going to throw one that you guys are going to disagree with. So
probably not.
I would say that which console you should get if you're starting off at brand new depends on what it is you want that thing to do. And so for me, I love pushing things to the edge, and I love that the Xbox Series X is able to push things out at a higher frame rate than any other console. I think it can go up to 240, something like that, with the Flight Simulator. And so that connected to an OLED TV is just fantastic. And so
that sounds about what I'd be looking to do.
For that purpose, an Xbox Series X for me is the best.
I mean, if you're wanting to go insane, maybe you want an Oculus or a PSVR too.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so all that's true, but don't you just want all the consoles with an ARC monitor? Doesn't that solve all your problems?
I want to get 2 Atari Lynxes, and you and I are going to connect them with the Atari Lynx connector cord so we can play multiplayer.
I will do it, my friend. I will.
California Games. We're going to play the surfing thing, and we're going to.
How is that not called the Lynx Link?
I think it is.
Regardless, look, in order to respond to this, because I feel like it dominated this conversation, and I'm sorry, but the fact
do you have Netflix culture? No.
Yes, I do. But
these
despite
Netflix
all
games
of that,
are all on mobile, though.
Yeah, well,
these are mobile games.
Right. Okay, but do you realize there's an entire subculture of gaming that demands MOBA games, and those guys that do that streaming make lots and lots of money? Because I met one recently.
Brawl Stars and whatever the new World of Warcraft
look at the game is. Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail channels.
Exactly. So, but if you look at this, you realize they're idiots, because they literally have started and stopped multiple gaming studios over time, and then they killed LucasArts, and I'm like, y'all are dumb.
LucasArts is the worst sin of all. LucasArts is incredible.
Let me just
carry on this. Kabam, which developed a Transformers fighting game, and I think they had a Marvel fighting game. Netflix has that now.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. If we can just point out that LucasArts made video games, and video games appeal to, generally speaking, and I'm speaking in generalizations, men between the ages of 15 and 35. And,
99.
Yeah, well, of course. But what is the primary audience for Star Wars? Oh, wait, if you're not going to make a Star Wars movie, do you know what this does to your brand relevance to continuously pump out Star Wars games over and over again? TIE Fighter, X-Wing, TIE Fighter versus X-Wing. I'm sorry, I probably reversed that there. Yoda stories, all these things that there wasn't a Star Wars movie in theaters for all those years, but you know what we had? We had novels and we had constant gameplay.
Yeah,
so
but Lauren Connor is women now, Jonas. So you know that it's a girls' franchise now. Come on,
right. The
Lauren Connor is listening. He'll lose his mind because he's
my
the expert of all this.
My dad is currently playing Fortnite and other stuff with my nephew, who is like a teenager. They compete together in those forums. I'm like, that's a 70-plus-year-old dude. That's not.
Well,
It's like, wow.
I don't know if to bring it back to the original topic that we came with at the beginning of the stream. Elon Musk was on with what's that guy's name? Lex Friedman, is that his name?
Yeah, Friedman. Yeah, he's a great.
Okay, so he was on with Lex Friedman.
Lex Friedman.
And Elon Musk was talking about the importance of video games, and that goes counterintuitive to what I think most people think of in terms of productivity. But Elon Musk said that video games are one of the easiest ways to enter into that state of mind called flow, where you are optimally engaged and challenged, and so you enter into you're hyper focused on the activity with
your brainwave pattern changes.
Yes, an intense sense of meaning, and so he was talking about the importance of playing video games. And so for all of you out there who may be in a younger demographic whose parents tell you not to play video games, maybe, well, I don't know. I can't suggest that you tell them
Show
that Elon Musk plays it.
I'm going to say, tell them that Elon Musk says F you.
The most famous psychologist that I know actually thinks video games help males deal with aggression issues.
And definitely with spatial issues, spatial awareness issues. Yeah.
And also it improves focus because your attention span actually increases with a video game, whereas watching TikTok and other stuff, it decreases.
Well, I'll tell you an interesting thing, and maybe you all have the same experience. We'll hop to the next topic in just a moment, everybody. I know everybody's waiting for us to unleash on Bob Iger. But on very rare occasion, I will have a migraine. It's very rare. When I do have a migraine, though, playing video games will allow me to either, I don't know if it makes the migraine go away or if it allows me to focus my attention on something that is not the migraine. Whatever it is, though, it's the best remedy that I have on those exceedingly rare occasions when I have a terrible headache to play a video game. So, all right, folks, it's the end of the game. You finished it. Good job. We're happy to have you here. Prizes awarded to all. Folks, if you'd like to award us a prize, consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe. And when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. What do you think about Netflix getting into gaming? And do you think this is the future? Or do you think that perhaps companies like Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo should be the ones who are doing this sort of thing and leave it to those pros? I don't know, but you tell us down below. Folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, keep playing games, and then, well, you just might keep having fun.